At the end of a year, I always find myself searching around trying to find a planner that I'm going to use in my life and business for the coming year. In 2022, I was struggling to find a new planner to try out because I really enjoyed the one that I was using. And the only reason why I didn't repurchase that one was because it just took up so much space on my desk. I added a second screen this year to my setup and there just wasn't going to be room to fit that one in. And also they raised the price $20 on it and I just couldn't justify spending $100 on a planner that I still wasn't using every part of. I was so grateful when my PA reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try out their planner this year. And I just want to start by saying that they did send me this planner as a gift, but I have not been paid for this video. And so this is a completely unbiased walkthrough and review of the planner. I was going to post this at the end of last year in case anyone was wanting to get started in 2023 with it, but I wanted to use it for a couple of weeks so that I could give you a really good idea of what I'm liking about it. So first I'll go through a bit of a walkthrough of the planner so you can see what's inside of it. And then I'll share with you my initial thoughts and feelings using it for the first couple of weeks of the year so far. So let's dive on in from the first part of it. What I love about this is actually the size of it. It's not super thick. It's not as big as the one that I used for 2022, which was like A4 size and take up a huge side of my desk. And so I really like this for its kind of compact size. I'm not sure how that's going to go in terms of like on a weekly basis using the planner itself. But let's do a little flip through here. So obviously we've got the entry page. We've got things like a little welcome and some quotes throughout. I really like that black and gold and white are just so classic and great kind of, I don't know why, they just feel like businessy without feeling super corporate. So there are heaps of features at the beginning of the planner that I really like. Obviously a bit of an explanation of how to use it and how it can be helpful for business, and then obviously just some instructions on how to use the week and reflect and do all of the things on a weekly basis. So this is a little review. I love to do a review at the end of the year and have this in my memberships as well, but it's kind of cool to have it kind of in the all in one place. Some goal setting or some targets to achieve, some just planning of life. And I like this because it's not just about like setting your business goals. It's actually about like what celebrations you're planning, where you're going to work from, what you're good at, what you love to do, and actually just thinking about your business as a part of your life on a holistic sort of front. So I love that. Bucket list is super cute. And then we're moving in. So this is like life, finishing up the year and then starting a new year and moving into the 2023 business plan. So coming back to the why, which is always a classic. Some visioning and visualization, which is very cool. And then kind of big goals, but also like brand and business. And I like these two together because you're kind of bringing your goals and your brand together and making sure that they make sense together. So this is cool. There's quite a lot of questions here. So this is actually quite similar to the one that I used in 2022, except that all of this was in the back. And I actually mentioned that in my review video that I probably would forget it was actually there. So I really like it being in the front. Again, I'm not sure how much I'll use this stuff because I have sort of my own planning way, but I do like it all being in one place. So we shall see. There's lots of different questions, competition, SWOT analysis, sort of your business plan classics. Marketing plan, which again has lots about your target audience, how you're going to sell your products and services, and then just kind of thinking about things like email marketing, sales funnels, webinars. This is so comprehensive actually. There's so many different elements because everyone's business is different and everyone does things differently, but I love that it's kind of including a lot of different things that would really work for people at all stages of their business, but also depending on how you actually run your business. Some things might not be relevant, but there's lots of stuff in here that I use. We've got blogging, content, podcasting, video, all of the things that people who have online businesses are probably having to think about. So I like having a bit of a plan up front and then being able to go off and take the main parts of this and build on it from there, which is really cool. Oh my goodness, there is so much in here. This is great. And then a project planner for brainstorming. Always love that. Connections. I like that being there as well. Monthly, weekly, daily tasks. This is a big one we talk about in my memberships as well. Actually having that clear plan, because it's so easy to just sit down every day and waste a lot of time trying to work out what you should be doing instead of actually just knowing what needs to be done. And then like having a bit of a forecast. Love that. Balance sheet. Again, having it all there. Like obviously most of us would have electronic Xero and that sort of thing, but it is kind of good to have it right in front of you because it can be easy to forget to look at that stuff. And then we have the monthly view with the positive habits at the bottom, so it's really cute. These little boxes are super small, so it'll just be a case, I guess, of working out how I want to use that. But I really like this as like a 30-day habit or a monthly habit. And then we've got goals and actions. So taking again the goals and then putting them into actions, which makes it so much easier to actually achieve them. Social media content planner. So I do this digitally, but I do really love to be able to write stuff down. And in my last year's planner, I actually ended up creating those pages on like spare pages throughout the planner because it was all at the back and I knew that I wasn't going to use like one tiny little square. So I love that this is for the whole month and it's like in the monthly view. And so then we have the weekly view. So when I first opened this up, I was a little bit nervous about how small the day posts are. But the more that I looked at it and thought about it, I actually work better across a week because I have things that need to get done, but I don't always have a day that gets done on. So what I was finding with my old planner, which was like 2 A4 pages for a week, and I would just move a lot of stuff across. So I'm actually really interested to see how this format will work for me in terms of actually just having my plans or actions for the week and then being able to do them across the week instead of trying to plan out day at a time, because that is not necessarily based on my energy and the way that I work and when I have calls and things on. That isn't necessarily like planning out each day isn't necessarily the best way that I work. So I'm actually really interested to test this out and see it. Then I can just write my calls and appointments in here and actually use the other parts and plan it out across the week instead of daily. So yeah, I'm super interested to see how that will work. Then we have a weekly review and reflection, which I love. I love doing an end of week, end of month reflection, which previous planners I've had haven't had that. So I love that this is actually sitting down each week and having a look, thinking about how the week has gone and then starting to plan the next week. And then it's kind of the same throughout the year. So that's all there throughout the year. I'm just gonna look, there's like an end. Yep, okay, so we've got January profit and loss, January cash flow, is that? Yeah, so we've got your weekly reviews and then a January kind of financial there as well. And then we move into the next month. So that's kind of how the year works. It's all the same. And then we flip to the back as we're coming, I guess, to the end of the year and doing a review and starting to put plans in action for the year to come.
So first and foremost, the thing that I'm really liking about the planner is the size of it. It's a really good size for not just sitting on my desk, but I feel like this one I could carry around with me, take out and about if I need to, as opposed to the one that I used last year. It's got the elastic there to be able to hold it together, and also it's got the 2 ribbons for marking the pages. One thing that I would really have loved to have seen that I have enjoyed in previous planners is having tabs down the side for the months or little indents even to be able to mark the month so that I could flip back and forward if I need to add anything in for the future instead of having to really flip through it, actually just being able to go straight to that page. I love the quality of it. It's a really sturdy one with really good paper. I have actually been using felt pens in this and there is 0 bleed through at all. I did the walkthrough and it was the first time that I went through the planner. So that was my initial thoughts and feelings about it. And now having gone through some of those pages, I wanted to share with you a few thoughts that I have about it. For a start, there are some really great reflection questions and some planning and goal setting for the year. There are a lot of pages about starting a business, starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, that sort of thing, that are probably really great if you're just starting out in your business. I did find it useful to go back through some of those questions and check in with everything, but I did find a lot of the questions in there weren't really relevant for me where I'm at in my business right now. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you're just starting out, this will be so perfect for you. The only other things that I was a little bit confused about as I was actually using it and have been using it is the monthly social media planner. There are headings already written
them in here, and I'm not quite sure what it's meant to be used for. I would probably really enjoy being able to actually write those headings in myself, or have a bit of an explanation as to how this table is kind of meant to be used. I'm assuming that the point is to kind of write the description of the content and then tick which format it's going to be in, but I would love to be able to change that up a bit. So I'll probably put stickers over those. The boxes are also really small to write in, so I'm guessing that it's meant to just be a check off kind of system. The other thing is that with the week to 2 pages format, I already have previously struggled with that layout before because I just find it's not quite enough room for me. But with adding in those extra boxes for content around the sides, as much as I actually love those, being able to see kind of my weekly plan and then be able to plan it out across the week as opposed to a daily plan, I'm really enjoying that. But what I am finding is that the week itself might have quite big handwriting, and it is quite cramped to fit everything in there. So it's getting a little bit messy. I'm going to have to try a few things out to make that work for me. I genuinely am loving the end of week review so much. There are some really important things to be checking in with each week, and it's really nice to have that reminder at the end of the week, as well as probably my favorite thing, which is this big kind of drawing page here. The thing that I love the most about this is that really having this kind of space allows you to use it however you need to for that week or for that moment. And I really, really like that feature. Having these check-ins and things at the end of the week are also really great. Again, the lines are really small because I have quite big writing, so I am struggling a little bit with that, but that's just a tiny little gripe about my own personal use of it. And then again, because as much as I'm loving this, where I can put my whole week, have that consistent things that need to get done every week, having these at the top with their own headings, I would actually really like to use this for something else. And so I've actually been scribbling that out and writing in what I'm actually using it for, which is like my focus for the week, the content I'm creating, that sort of thing. And so I'd really love to kind of maybe have them as blank so I could write in what I want instead of what is already there. Other than that though, I'm really loving this planner so far, and I am excited to use it this year. And a huge thank you again to Alex and the MyPA team for sending this to me to have a look at and share with you all. Please let me know if you have any questions, or if you like these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them from me in terms of reviews of things that I use, systems and resources and tools in my business. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more reviews, more introvert-friendly business tips, and just a documentation of the things that I'm doing this year in my business as I keep tweaking and refining my introvert-friendly business to make it work better for me and share what I'm learning with you along the way. If you have any ideas or suggestions for future videos, please let me know. Pop them in the comments below or shoot me a DM on Instagram at miss_KMF. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.